Today I'm going to give you a quick summary of the book Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as If Your Life Depended on It by Chris Voss. Wow, what a title. I mean, if that doesn't draw you in, I don't know what will. An actual former FBI hostage negotiator is going to teach us how to bargain? Let's see what this book's all about. This book's intended to help people improve their negotiating and bargaining skills. Most people avoid bargaining or negotiating. It's stressful, the stakes can often be high when it's needed, and we want to make sure that we don't get a bad deal. Because all these factors combine and it happens in real times, oftentimes without even knowing it, we compromise. We tell ourselves it's a win-win situation. The author breaks this down and explains that you'll never look at that the same way. You'll never see compromise like that again. In fact, you'll think of that situation as wimp-win because we settled on something that wasn't ideal for us. And he goes on to further explain that of course we don't like these situations. Of course they're stressful. We don't encounter them frequently enough to have finely tuned or honed our own skills to be good at them. Most of the time the negotiation takes place, it is for a high-ticket item. Buying a car, buying a home, trying to negotiate a promotion or a pay raise at work. These things all have high stakes attached to them and they all have consequences if they don't go well. So it's no wonder that it's a stressful situation for us. To make matters worse, all the things that we've been taught in those limited interactions are from 20 to 30 years ago. They're dated sales techniques that don't work. One of these examples he uses is the yes track. This is something salesmen use all the time to try to loosen you up and get you to say yes to something. They'll start with an easy question. He gives the example, do you enjoy a nice cold glass of water on a hot day? And the person says, yes. And then they ask you another more narrowing question, and you do like all the benefits that we talked about that this product can give you today, right? Well, yes. Okay, great. So, would you like to buy it? That doesn't work anymore. He breaks yeses down into 3 subcategories that we learn about. Number 1 is going to be the counterfeit yes. This is what's often being given to people when they ask those silly questions. Number 2 is going to be the confirmation yes. And number 3 is going to be the best one, and that's your commitment yes. That's the true yes, that's the sale. But the author doesn't focus on getting you to get to yes. In fact, he wants you to get the no out first. By getting the no out, we can uncover the true source of resistance and help that person to overcome this with us together. The old school way of thinking of sales was that it was you versus them. And that's not the case. It's actually you and the potential client or whoever you're bargaining with against the issue at hand. And you both need to find a way to overcome that issue. That's the problem, not the person on the other side of the table. Another thing that he talks about that stresses people out that he wants you to let go of is that there is no deadline. Okay? The deal will not be off the table. In fact, the author says that if you ever feel like there's no way for you to get what you want out of a deal, don't take it. No deal is better than taking a bad deal in most cases. Now, the author gives us some great information all throughout every single chapter. I found the chapter on mirroring to be particularly beneficial. Now, a lot of books follow this format. Each chapter is broken up into one specific skill or topic, but I'm going to tell you, this book in particular, while it did that at first, the last probably 3 to 4 chapters really brought everything together. This author went above and beyond and took all the things they gave us and showed us exactly how to apply them. Now, a good example of this is going to be when he talks about negotiating styles. You're going to have your assertives, you're going to have your accommodators, and you're going to have your analyticals. Most authors would just break down those 3 different main types and give you some information about them. They wouldn't at all factor in the fact that the person doing the negotiating is also going to fall into one of those 3 categories. And what he does is he shows you as one type how to interact with each different type. Very specific stuff too. Not broad, not general stuff, exactly how to negotiate with this type of person. Now, I think one of the easiest pieces of advice he gives that we can follow is to go into every negotiation prepared. By coming in with a clear-cut plan and a range of things that you're willing to accept, you're less likely to veer off of that. It's one thing to say that I have something in mind that I want. It's another to have it written down on paper and know exactly what you need to have a successful negotiation session. This is another area where I feel that this author goes above and beyond. He actually links you to his website where he's got all sorts of templates you can download, all sorts of helpful information that you can download in PDF for free just to support the work that he's done in this book here. And I think that this comprehensive, multi-pronged approach to actually helping the reader become better is something that all authors should look to emulate. Overall, I highly recommend this book. In fact, this is one of the very few nonfiction business books that I'm looking forward to reading again. There are so many valuable pieces of information in here, so many different pieces of advice that you can follow. They're going to make you better at negotiating. I couldn't possibly cover them in just one video. It would be as long as the book is. So if you found this information helpful, go ahead and click on that like button below. And if you'd like to be notified every time I release a new video, go ahead and click on subscribe. That way, when I do, you'll be the first one to know about it. Thanks again for watching White Collar Wisdom.